here we are. It's the start of qualifying for, was it round 2 of the Summer Night Series for St George Motorcycle Club. It was a really hot day. Now, we'd done not too much prep or change to the bikes, other than putting dry settings back into Gen 1. And it was actually really... this is quite close to chop chop, David. Yeah, so we kind of hadn't really done too much prep or change from the last round because the setting felt good. It was quite hot coming into this, and actually, in all honesty, I was hoping that we'd be able to go out and smash some PBs out. So I think in this qualifying session, pushed a bit harder, went out with the front group, and I think that's proven to be a bad call initially because the group was just all boxed up at the front. And there was no way I was going to be able to get a clean line of my own. There you go, like having to back out massively to avoid some of the other riders in front. Yeah, so I make the decision here to pull through the pits because there's no way I was going to get a clean lap on the 650. Just against the 600s, everyone's going to be walking me in the corners or just chopping me up everywhere, and then I'll, with the difference in corner speed. So I made the call to run through the pits, and hopefully that was going to put me to a bit more open track, and it works out. Ended up getting a bit of decent track position. I think I was able to put in a 44, which is it's a second off where we were last time. We got down to a low 43 the last night races in much cooler, kind of weirder conditions. Unfortunately with the heat, and I wasn't feeling that well throughout the night. It's probably been up since 5 o'clock in the morning, worked all day, and feeling a bit crook, so the body and my brain weren't quite in it. I was pushing too hard in quali because I thought, with the bit of clear track space that I had, I thought I was going to be on for PBs, but again, didn't have quite the feeling of the bike that I had last week, or the last race meeting. And yeah, I wasn't, realistically, I don't think I was up for it either. Hindsight's a wonderful thing. I can sit there now and say, yeah, there was no way I was ever going to do it, but I went into the night thinking that we were going to get into the 42s and hopefully 41s again, but it's just a few things with the new setup of the bike. I feel like I'm able to push harder, but as always, the harder you push sometimes, the slower you go. This qualifying session and then one race, and I ended up calling Rob from All Sprung Motorcycle Suspension. I was the guy that does our suspension and geometry, and I was like, I'm having this issue, what do we think's the likely cause? And he said I was overriding it. Oof, there's a bit of a move there past David again. That's David on the MT-07. He'd go on to absolutely cream PBs in all night. Every session he PB'd, which is absolutely awesome, night racing's a bit of a weird situation. Again, it was hot, and the conditions weren't perfect. Yet, again, in not less than ideal conditions, David managed to pull PBs out, so that's really awesome to see, and it's helping the budding 650 class or twins class. Oh, I did not know that was coming. So here's race 1. Again, good launch. Ooh, Dunn had a horrible launch there. I think my reaction time was actually really good there. But again, just the SV, the run to the first corner. Oof, that was tight. The run to the first corner just didn't go well. Then yes, I got smoked into turn 1 and then again into turn 2. The bike didn't quite feel like it had all the gusto that it did last time. Maybe it missed shift or something like that. And everyone else obviously naturally improves as well. So it put me back a few places compared to normal. And that's the chap that I was fighting with in the last race of the last night meeting, and he's improved hand over fist from that experience, and he just disappears. I never saw him. Other than this, I don't think I saw him at all for the rest of the evening. Trying different lines, I think I was racing too hard, or I was trying to race, and there's no point in us trying to race the 600s. We're all there for fun, but I think I was just trying too hard altogether for the night. Like, throwing a pass like that's awesome. It makes me smile now. Watching it is pretty sick, but in the grand scheme of things, we were there to test the bike, test myself, and I think my mental attitude towards the racing was probably wrong, which is why I wasn't as happy with the outcome of these. Straight into the limiter hard there. But hitting the limit, going into the limiter like that in 5th, it's showing I got a good drive off the last corner, but smacking into the limiter like that, backing it into 5th to tip into turn 1, I think that's part of my problem with dropping lap time, is because there you go, I've just misshifted there, which is going to kill my drive. You see, they just continue to get away from me. Yeah, like I was saying, going into turn 1, sitting it straight into the limiter is only going to slow me down because it's slowing the bike down. It's limiting the bike. So if I'd have just let it roll through and then slowly further throttle back in, it increases the mid-corner speed and doesn't hold me back. But again, too keen to try to make time up. I was just straight back into the throttle, straight back into the gas, and hard against the limiter like that, it doesn't work. We were running our normal gearing of 44-2-3 sprocket. We ended up changing it later in the evening because I felt like, again, it was weird, I felt like I was losing power. Or didn't have as much power as last time. This is Romeo. That R6 is an absolute weapon off the corners. Ended up doing a lot of fighting with Romeo for most of the night. You hear me having a chop there as he ran out wide and came back in to run his line. There's that line it's done past me. The cheeky bugger. And yeah, unfortunately the first race was red flagged through this incident, which was absolutely horrible. One of our friends, Sarah, she unfortunately had a low side and her bike burst into flames, and there's nothing she could do. The bike's a total write-off. This is something I've never seen before. I've never seen a bike go up in flames on track while I've been out there. So yeah, to come around the corner and see that, it was just, wow, the worst feeling. I'm just absolutely gutted for Sarah because she's put her heart and soul into racing like we all do, and to see your bike go down like that's horrible. Thankfully she's okay. We've all echoed the same sentiments of losing a bike's pretty horrible, but there's a couple of things that are worse than that can happen in those situations, and thankfully she escaped any harm. Just a pained soul from losing. We love our bikes as much as a lot of people love their kids, so it's just one of those horrible things. Race 2, I think I have a really bad misshift at the start of this one. My reaction time is pretty good. I feel like I'm getting my starts down pretty good, but yeah, just again struggled. Do we hear a misshift here? Yep, there you go, 2nd to 3rd again. Bit of a weird misshift. The same thing was happening in the first race between 2 and 3. I struggled with it a couple of times. I think once on the straight, I get a weird misshift as well. Maybe I'm not being positive enough with the gear shifter. Maybe it needs to be moved. Again, I have moved the seating position and stuff, and not really changed that kind of thing. It was weird. I didn't have that issue too much in the first night meeting. I don't know whether that's the bike. The bike's, I know it's definitely due a service now. Maybe I should have given it a service between races rather than just chucking it in the trailer and coming back out. That's just basic maintenance that should have been taken care of, perhaps. But then also, with my body not feeling the best, it could have been part of it. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. It was definitely frustrating me all night. And then I felt cramped on the bike. I felt cramped in my levers, so I don't know what. Because it was hot, maybe that was something that was different. I definitely feel I need to move my handlebars out. It wasn't feeling the greatest. Thankfully, didn't suffer with arm pump. There's Simone. Do I get him? No, wasn't brave enough. Again, I can send those moves. But sometimes it can be counterproductive to my lap time or my run onto the back straight. There you saw I balked myself trying not to go into the back of Simone, and they ended up getting past around the outside through 11-12, which is one of my strongest parts of the track by young Matt. So, and little things like that end up frustrating me. I know were I on a 600, it wouldn't be an issue for me. There wouldn't be something that would be happening. That's maybe my competitive spirit. The red mist is coming back a bit. Because I know I would be further up were I on a 600, but I choose to ride an SV. So I'm here to test the SV, and that's something I feel I've forgotten as well. This is testing, this is me developing the SV to try to make it faster, and I think my mental attitude was taken off that a bit by wanting to race. And then of course you have the lap timer on, you check it between sessions, and the lap times aren't coming, and you're wondering why. You think, oh, maybe everyone's struggling. You see there, Matt had a bit of a wobble on the rear, like you're struggling. Did I just pass Simone? I did. No, I was struggling. I felt like I didn't have as much feel in the front and rear. The same tyres as last time, literally the same tyres as last time. We weren't having pressure issues. We had a bit of temperature issue, but it's not too bad. Everyone was saying they were struggling for grip, but maybe because we have to carry a lot more corner speed, it was hitting us harder. Like out of here, I think I've got a couple of big bobbles. And that being said, we're having bobbles, we're having issues on not running a lap time, yet other people are PBing, other people on the same bike that they raced on 2 weeks ago. Other people are throwing in really good times. The Superbike guys broke the lap record 4 or 5 times throughout the night. The nighttime lap record. But yeah, for whatever reason, I was just struggling. You hear me there, not actually slapping it straight into the rev limiter to make sure that I actually try to carry a bit more drive through turn 1. Trying any line I can to keep corner speed. Just the weird converging lines between that R6 and what I'm doing as well. I'm not hard into the throttle because, again, you don't want to run into the side of a bike. A lot of that, he's unsighted for me as I'm going through turn 9, so you've got to be cautious. You don't want to ride into the side of one of your friends, that R6, Romeo R6 is just a monster off that corner. And I'm not getting the exit drive off turn 9 to carry as much speed, or I don't know, to try to keep up with him. Watch that, like, it's almost like, well, he's got that much punch off the corner, he's got to do the sway to try to keep the front down. At least that's what it looks like. There's me pushing hard, you know, out onto the concrete. Actually really wanted to pass him before the end of this last lap, or before the end of this race. See, I was chicken there, I wasn't even holding it the whole way through. And there's the huge disparity that we have to deal with in top speed. Thankfully there's no water through turn 1 this time for me to look at. Although maybe looking at where the water was last time helped me turn the bike. So this is race 3, we've changed the gearing. I had a pretty good initial launch, and then I hadn't played with the gearing yet, and then there you heard between 3rd and 4th I hit false neutral, or I didn't kick properly. It was just absolute chaos here. Someone gets bumped out wide there, which puts me in behind him. You can see through some of the video, like the big black lines that the S600s were leaving. Like, it was strange. There was grip, but no grip at the same time. And I feel like that condition maybe affected us a bit more with having to hold more corner speed. You know, I'm on average, you can see in the video, there's a couple of k's an hour more mid corner speed than I can hold on a clearer lap for myself. I know nowadays I'm mid corner speed when I'm putting a fast lap on the SV is 5 k's an hour higher than I was on my R6 back in the day when I was doing 37s and 38s. So again, there's just this huge gaggle of bikes all kind of bunch up behind 1 or 2 riders. But like different lines, it's harder to make passes. There's less experienced guys in the field when you're this far back. So there you go, there was a misshift going from 4th to 5th there. We did net a highest top speed of the night in this race using the 45.23 sprocket. I think it kind of just changed too much the dynamic of the bike throughout the rest of the track. So we'll go back to the 44. You can hear there, like the engine was quite low, quite lully. That was me trying to run through the corner in 3rd gear rather than 2nd. And then that was that gearing change. You've shortened the gearing, the bike's going to rev harder, be a bit more peakier. So again, throughout this race as well, not only am I combating, I'm also trying to work out the new gearing that we should put in, what gear works best, where the changes need to be. And it was a last minute decision. Andrew helped me rush through the gear change, and realistically I should have just left it and I probably would have gotten into the 43s by just focusing on my riding rather than making big changes like that. We also changed fork setting for race 2, which I didn't like. So I changed the fork setting back and it felt much better in this race. I just had to manage, again, smooth riding. Having spoken to Rob, I was being a bit too aggressive, considering my entry speed isn't quite as high, or my peak speed between corners isn't quite as high as on the R6. Like, I don't have to be braking at the same point, or braking as hard at the same point. So worked on smoothing that out, but then having made the fork harder, it just took a bit of feel away from me for race 2. So made the fork softer again, put the setting back in both ends for what we had last week, or last race meeting. Actually get a couple of laps here where I'm kind of in a bit of clean air. Again, just knock it on the 44 flat, 1 minute 44 flat, as opposed to the last race, last meeting where I was doing 43 flats. So the second is a big hunk of time to lose, and I was pretty miffed about it, I'm not gonna lie. Again, you just watch Romeo pick the thing up and open the taps, and there's just no way I can even entertain trying to get past him here. He's just too far away. Yeah, I do try a bit of a frustrated move there. I think this is either the second last lap or the last lap of this race. Because really wanted to try to pass him, and then this chap gets me as well to the line. So this is a cool down lap again. It really wasn't a cool down lap. It was still pretty hot at this hour of the night. But again, on the cool down lap, we give a wave to all the marshals and all the volunteers. Again, all these St George staff, marshals out in the field, the marshals in the tower, the staff in the tower, and everyone running the event. They're all volunteers. So give everyone a bit of a wave as thanks. Yeah, just a few things with the bike. Yeah, it felt really good. It's just that weird feeling that a lot of people were talking about, a lack of grip, and maybe that's what I was feeling. I know I had a lot of moments on the rear. I thought maybe it's because the tyre had done quite a few laps now, and there's a lot of heat cycles. It's a credit to that Bridgestone rear that it was able to still push me along, and I was getting some of the highest top speeds I've gotten on that bike for quite a while. So we had the grip off the last corner, we were pushing, it just didn't feel like it. January 8th is the third round of the St George Summer Night Series. I would encourage anyone to go and have a look. The night racing is awesome. The conditions make it so unique, and it's pretty exciting as well. They have DJs there now. They're going to have the bar open for the next round on the rooftop, all going well. So it's going to be a proper party atmosphere. It's free entry for adults, free entry for kids. So head on down to Sydney Motorsport Park. It's going to be awesome.